They assumed Leo had simply fallen in love with the baby. They had the whole story backwards. Devon Okonkwo Hale worked as a respiratory therapist, the kind of job that trains you to notice breathing patterns without even meaning to. She'd always credited that instinct to her career. She didn't expect their dog to have a version of it too, Leo. Their 5-year-old Leonberger had been gentle with baby Coraline from the very first week home. But over the past several days, his behavior had shifted into something more specific. He no longer wanted to be near Coraline so much as near Devon. Whenever she held the baby, pressing his body against her side, resting his head against her ribs, sometimes letting out a low, unfamiliar sound Devon had never heard from him before. "He's just being clingy," her partner, Rosalind, said, watching Leo do it again during an evening feed. Big dogs get like that with new babies sometimes. Devon wanted to believe that. It was a simpler story, but Leo's behavior kept escalating in a strange, specific way. He'd press his nose directly against her sternum, hold it there, and refuse to move even when nudged away gently. On a Thursday evening, mid-feed, Devon felt an odd flutter in her chest. Nothing dramatic, easy to dismiss as fatigue or too much coffee. Leo, sitting beside the couch, immediately stood, pressed his full weight against her side, and pushed his nose hard against the same spot on her chest, whining low and insistent, refusing every attempt to settle him. Rosalind, watching, said what neither of them had considered until that exact second. "He's not fixated on the baby. He's fixated on you." Devon's pulse felt irregular. Faster in some beats, skipping in others. She sat very still and, more out of instinct than alarm, asked Rosalind to time it. The rhythm was undeniably off. At the emergency room, an EKG confirmed a cardiac arrhythmia that had likely been developing quietly for weeks, easy to miss between the ordinary exhaustion of new parenthood and a busy household. The cardiologist reviewing her chart didn't hesitate. "This kind of arrhythmia can sometimes progress to something far more dangerous if it goes unmonitored," she told Devon. "You caught this early. Whatever prompted you to get checked tonight instead of writing it off?" That mattered. Devon thought about every moment over the past week she'd assumed was about the baby. Leo pressing against her side during feeds. Not clinginess, but proximity to something he could sense. The nose against her sternum. Not affection, but attention to a rhythm only he could detect. The low whine that had annoyed her that final night. The only alarm he had. Has your dog's strange attachment ever turned out to be about you? Not the person you assumed? Share your story in the comments. These stories deserve to be heard. Devon's arrhythmia is now managed with medication and follow-up monitoring. Leo still leans against her during quiet moments on the couch. Not clingy. She understands now, just listening. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe. Next week, the St. Bernard who wouldn't stop pulling a baby's hand away from the table, and what he was actually trying to stop.